I'm Sarah Cavazos, and the items that I used for a rectangle was one of my kids' Pokemon cards. So the way that I measured it was that I measured the width and the length. So I just took this and measured this with the tape measure and then this part with the tape measure. And for the width, I got 3 1/4 inches, and for the length, I got 2 1/4 inches. So I used the formula of area equals width times length to get 7.313 inches squared. And then for the perimeter, I took 2 times length plus width. So I did 2 times 2.25 plus 3.25 to get 11 inches. I changed all my fractions into decimals. And then the object that I used for a triangle, which I found a little hard to find household items that were triangular in shape, but I used just a pick, a triangular pick. And so I just measured the base, which was right here. So I measured this with my tape measure, and I got for the base 1 inch, and then I measured the height. So I measured from this part here to here for the base. Or for the height, for the height. And I got 1 3/16 of an inch. So when I used the formula area equals 1/2 times base times height, I got 0.594 inches squared. And then for the perimeter of a triangle, I use the formula perimeter equals A plus B plus C. So I measured side A here, and then I measured side B, and then side C. So for side A, I got 1 1/8 of an inch. Side B, I got 1, and for side C, I got 1 1/8. So when I used the perimeter formula, I did 1.125 plus 1 plus 1.125 to get 3.25 inches. And then for the circle household item, I used a lid from a lotion. And so for the area, I used the formula area equals pi r squared. And the way that I measured this was I measured the diameter from this side to this side, and then I divided it by 2 to give me the radius. So the diameter was 3 1/4. So when I divided that by 2, I got a radius of 1 11/16 of an inch. So I just measured it from there to there with the tape measure. And when I did the formula, it was pi times 1.6875 squared. I got 8.942 inches squared. And then for the formula for circumference, what is C equals 2 pi r. So when you plug that in, it's going to be circumference equals 2 pi times 1.6875. So when I did the math, I got 10.598 inches for the circumference of the lotion lid. And then for the rectangular solid, I used a tissue box to get the formula for volume. So the formula for volume is volume equals width times height times length. So I measured the length, and I measured the width, and then I also measured the height. So I measured this side. And for the width, I got 8.75 inches. For height, I got 4.375 inches. And then for length, I got 2 inches. So I plugged that into my formula. I got 15.125 inches cubed. And then the formula for surface area of a rectangular solid is A equals 2 times width times the length plus height times the length plus height times the width. So when I plugged my numbers into that, I got 129.063 inches squared for the surface area of the tissue box. And then the last item, which was a cylinder, I just used a regular soup can for this one. And the way I measured this is I measured for the surface area, the formula is A equals 2 pi r times the height plus 2 pi r squared. So I measured the height, which was from here to here, and I got 4 3/4 inch. And then I measured the radius, well, the diameter, and then I divided it by 2 to get the radius, which is in the center to one side. And for the radius, I got 1 1/2 inch. So when I plugged that into my formula, I got 58.875 inches squared. And that is it.